Hi, my name is V. I make sewing content along with other things. Today I'm going to be doing a sewing vlog slash sew along with me, and I'm going to be doing a button-down top. It's been a while since I've been in front of the camera. It's been like a couple months, I feel like. School has picked up so much, and I had a whole plan. I really thought I was gonna have time to film. I barely had time to sew, and I barely had time to film, but I'm happy to be back. Hopefully I can do it a little more consistently. I'm thinking maybe every 3 to 4 weeks, put out a video. I know that's not much, but I'm trying to juggle so many things at once, so I think that's a good compromise for me. I've really enjoyed sewing recently, and ever since I learned how to sew buttons and buttonholes on my sewing machine, I feel unstoppable. That's why I'm going to be sewing this top today. It kind of honestly looks like the top that I'm wearing. I know you can't really see much, but yeah, it's pretty similar to this honestly, but this is gonna be my first time sewing a collar, and I'm a little nervous about it. I did already sew up a prototype for this, so I kind of know the ins and outs, but I half-assed it as like I normally do, so there's still a lot to be figured out while I'm sewing this, but I'm excited. I got the pattern off of Etsy, and like I mentioned, I already did it, so it's already like cut out and taped and everything. I forgot who the creator was from, but I'll definitely link it down below. I'm literally just using this cotton fabric that I got from Walmart. I love the color. Don't judge me with the Walmart. Like ever since Joann's closed, like it's just been Walmart, Hobby Lobby, and honestly, that's it. So yeah, we're just working with 1 yard of fabric. I do have 2 of these just in case something goes south, but I have confidence. But yeah, I'm really excited, so let's get to sewing. All right, I'm ironing my fabric right now, and I'm just gonna do some real talk here. I have felt like an immense amount of pressure for like literally from no one, from myself. I feel like every single video that I've made, like trust me, I think I've filmed like 3 that are just like never gonna see the light, because I don't know, I just get so frustrated with thinking that everything needs to be perfect, or like everything that I need to film has to have like a purpose. But I don't know, I started watching a lot of sewing vlogs, especially Carly B. I love her videos, and I like aspire to be her, honestly. I've just realized that like a lot of her clips are just like of her being her and of her like just sewing, which sounds so stupid, but like I was at this point where I was filming all of these like sew-alongs, and I'm like, oh, why am I even filming me ironing? I just felt like a lot of, like I said, a lot of the things I was filming just like didn't make sense, or I was like, why am I even like showing this? But I realized that that's just the fun of the sewing process, and I'm just showing me sewing. So hopefully this vlog style, or kind of just like sew along with me, will kind of help with that. I have been sewing and like not recording stuff, and it's just been so fun. Like I love sewing, and I don't want filming to get in the way of my hobby. Selvage to selvage edge. But yeah, I'll put some pictures in of like recent sewing projects that I finished, that I just like did not record, but I've just been really like into kind of like, what's going on? Come on. All right, there you go. I've really been into sewing kind of like everyday casual clothes, which is why I'm doing this button down, because I feel like this is actually gonna be like a great addition to my wardrobe. I'm used to sewing dresses, like that's kind of where I started when I started sewing, was sewing satin dresses to wear to formals. And now that I've kind of died down all of the formal stuff, I'm like, I kind of want to make casual clothes. So that's where I'm at with this. Also, I just made my morning matcha, and I have to share. Look at how gorgeous. I'm so excited. I had 2 classes this morning, and usually I end at 12, but she let us leave early, so it's 11 now, and I get to sew, so how great. I love matcha. It's so cute. All right, now I'm energized, and we can start sewing. Okay, I have the pattern here. So this pattern online, all the reviews were saying that it runs so small, so I went up to a medium. I'm usually a size extra small in most things that I buy, but I know with sewing patterns I always size 1 up. So because I always size 1 up, I'm usually a small, and then now that this one runs small, I got a medium. One thing about me is that I will always cut my patterns on the ground. I literally have a nice sewing cabinet that can extend out and have enough space for me to cut all of this, but I'm still on the floor. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, sometimes Etsy patterns can be really hit or miss, but I feel like if you buy patterns from like reputable people and designers, like I think I have like probably half of Kiana Bonolo's designs, just because I love her patterns, and like they're always accurate, and she always has like video tutorials to go with it. Like that's perfect. That's like everything I'm looking for. But yeah, I'm a student, so I get basically free printing with my tuition, so I'm just like shamelessly printing like hundreds of pages at a time. Okay, I just cut all of my pattern pieces and I'm gonna go ahead and re-iron them and just make sure they're all flat and nice. But something I will say that's really annoying about this pattern is that there's no notches on anything. And if there are notches, they tell you to just fold it in half and make your own notch. But like, for instance, like the sleeves, like there's no gathering notches. So when I was sewing the prototype, I mean, it's a little intuitive, but I feel like if you're kind of more of like a beginner sewer, it would be so hard to understand. This only deals with vertical seams, so it's also kind of really weird that there's no notches on there because I feel like that would be extremely helpful. Yeah, I honestly kind of just started making my own notches and stuff along the way and kind of just figuring it out. But yeah, that's also another thing I have against this pattern, but it'll work out. Look how raggedy this is. That's just awful. I got this Guggenheim scissors. They've been great, even though I don't even cut my fabric with scissors, like my pattern pieces. So I just recorded a whole clip without my mic being on, so we're gonna try to restart this. So I finished sewing the two front bodice panels together, and I'm just doing the other side and making sure they're mirrored because I pinned it and I was like, yeah, that's not mirrored. But anyway, what I was saying in my previous clip when it didn't catch my audio was that I got a new sewing machine actually, and I'm really excited. It's coming in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I feel like it was time for an upgrade. The sewing machine that I have now has been my mom's since like 2010, maybe even earlier. The reason why I wanted an upgrade was because I wanted to upcycle my corduroy pants, and I knew that this machine was not going to handle corduroy very well. So I was thinking, maybe I should get a new sewing machine, and I went down a whole rabbit hole. It was a lot, but let me tell you guys while I'm sewing. Oh, did I sew these with the wrong seam allowance? Oh, I just realized I've been sewing with 1/2 inch seam allowance when I shouldn't have been. Oh, that's terrible. Don't you just love sewing? Oh, and now my thread just unhooked. Anyway, yeah, I went down a whole rabbit hole because I was thinking like, oh, let me just get a sewing machine that I could just use for heavy duty. I have never researched sewing machines before, so I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this. Basically, I was gonna get a Singer heavy duty. Then I went down a whole rabbit hole on Reddit, people talking crap about the machine, talking about Singer and how their quality of machines is not good and how it's a hit or miss. And I'm just like, yeah, I feel like if I'm gonna be investing a couple $100s in something, I should make sure that it's reputable, that it's good. So yeah, then I realized that most of them were on the expensive end. So then I just decided to just replace my whole sewing machine. Do I need another sewing machine? No, I don't need it, but I'm gonna get one anyway. Okay, so we have to seam rip this because I did it with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, we've moved over to my serger here. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to serge and press everything, but I'm gonna double check that I did this right. Okay, I did. Also, I know my sewing machine sounds atrocious. I'm with you guys on that. This is a really old serger. This is a hand-me-down from my boyfriend's mom. So honestly, all of these are hand-me-downs, like my sewing machine and my serger. I'm back. The next order of business is to gather the bust and then attach it to the waist pieces that I just made. There's, like I said, no gathering notches, so I'm just gonna make my own. I think that's good. And for my basting stitches, what I like to do is use a different thread color. It just makes it so much easier to take it out later for me. I'm always opting for black because I feel like it pops out a lot. Okay, this is my favorite part, is like removing the gathering stitches, and literally all you do is you just pull at one end. Let's see if I can do this mirrored. You just pull at it, and like if you didn't stitch over it, like it should just come out like that. Tell me that's not so satisfying that you get to pull the threads out like that. That's so awesome. So here's the bust piece gathered, has a nice little curve, and I'm also going to go ahead and just serge and press these down. I'm working on the button placket right now. I'm gonna go ahead and basically just take the button placket strip and fold it directly in half like this. So once I folded it in half, we're basically going to fold both sides inwards toward that middle line that we just made. Okay, now that I've like roughly ironed them in like that, I'm going to fold them onto each other like this, so then I can iron it again. Okay, so you're basically going to use it like bias tape, and you're going to do right sides together and then sew one of the quarter lines like that. And then we're basically going to fold it over, but instead of folding it over another time so it's invisible, we just fold it over once and then we top stitch. Just gonna clip everything and make sure my seams are pointing the way I want them to. Okay, now I'm gonna sew along that line there. This is what it looks like, and I'm just gonna go ahead and trim off the excess. Okay, so this is what happens when you don't fold over enough. I wasn't catching any of it. I'm gonna have to redo that. I'm actually like heartbroken because now I have to redo all of this, and I've accidentally been plucking off like what I did earlier. Wait, I have to show you guys this. I'm actually able to use the seam ripper like the way you're supposed to use a seam ripper. Look at how satisfying that is. I never use my seam ripper this way because I get scared that I'm going to like rip my fabric. There are so many threads like everywhere, so yeah, I don't know if I love doing it that way. Okay, I finished the button placket. Look at the stitching. And this is the back. It might look like some stitches skipped, but it's literally just the remnants of me trying to take the easy way out with the seam ripper. Like there's just a bunch of like little threads in here that probably just are not gonna come off. Now the next thing we're gonna do, this part's actually pretty easy, is to I just have to attach all the back panels together, which are all vertical. And it is a reverse curve, which like I keep saying, notches would be really nice, but here we are. Oh, and then after is the sleeves, and then after the sleeves is actually doing the collar, which I'm a little nervous about that. Okay, so I have the back bodice all done, and then I also have both of the front pieces done with the plackets as well. The next thing to do is join them from the shoulders and add the sleeves. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I just need to press the shoulder seams now, but it's feeling a little bigger than when I prototyped it. Like it looks kind of big, but I'm just gonna take it in like normal, or like do the seams as normal, but then if I need to take in more, I'll just like add more seam allowance to the side. But she's looking cute. I love the color. Pretty happy with my choice right now. Okay, I'm working on the sleeves now. I'm gonna try to base them, but the first thing I'm gonna do is notch. So I'm gonna do that real quick. And then for the gathering, I'm just gonna go off of vibes. I'm only gonna do one row for the sleeves, but I'm just gonna gather and then pin this. Sewing is so cool. Look at that. You can already see it coming together. Super cute. So basically where I'm at is I'm doing the waist straps now, and I actually just cut a piece because I want the straps to be way smaller than they are, or thinner I mean, and then I'm just going to top stitch it. I already made one strap, and that strap is looking a lot thicker than this. So hopefully it doesn't look too noticeable. Yay! Okay, it's not like the cleanest at the end, but it'll do. You can tell that one is you can tell that one is thinner than the other, but I don't think I care enough to fix it. Okay, so I have my shirt here. I'm going to make sure that the strap placement is where I want it to be, which is going to be right here. So it's going to have to be like inside, like right here. So I'm going to pin that real quick. All right, now I'm gonna repeat this with the other side. It looks really good though. I'm actually like really proud of my sewing work. I think it looks really good. Okay, I roughly am trying on the shirt, but yeah, let me do a little twirl so you guys can see. And then obviously with the straps, it can help me like bring in the waist a little bit too, but it's like, if she fits pretty good. I was really overestimating like how large it was, but I do think I'm gonna make it pretty short, like that short maybe. So that'll probably also help with like how much bigger it looks, but I'm excited to add the color because I think it will like add some depth here, because right now, I don't know, she's giving grandma. I wish you guys also could see the color. I feel like on camera it looks really washed out, but it's like this really pretty lavender color. IRL. Okay, quick fit change, but I'm gonna go ahead and serge off the sides, and then I should be good to go with kind of cleaning up all of the edges and stuff, and then I'm gonna figure out if I have the energy to keep going. Like I mentioned, I've never done a collar before. The collar's next, and then after the collar, we hem it, so I feel like I should tackle one of them. We'll see. Okay, I've decided I'm gonna start on the collar at least. It's pretty simple. For the first part, you're just going to do right sides together and like stitch all along all sides except for the bottom. But I saw this really cool trick online where like if you just sewed a thread kind of in between the corners, you can use it to help you pull the corner out so it's super sharp. So I'm gonna see if I can try to do that. I don't have the video saved, but I am trying to do it by memory, so wish me luck. Wait guys, I found it. Okay, Okay, let me not get new thread from my bobbin and grab it from my little trash can instead because I have so much loose thread in here. Like one's already popping out. There we go. Okay, I'm placing the black thread in between. Sew one stitch and then bring it over. Rocket science, but I'm making it rocket science. Okay, cool, and now we'll see what happens. So, putting that in there. Turn. I was able to turn it inside out and use the thread to pull on the corner, and it actually worked. One of the corners I needed a little bit of help because I don't think I did it the right way, but nonetheless, this is definitely something that I'm going to be doing for all of my projects now. This is so cool. All right, I'm going to press this, and then I think I should edge stitch this. Alright, I'm watching a YouTube video as we speak, but yeah, basically I sandwiched the collar in between the collar stand and lined them up with the notches, and one of the sides are folded up because I think we're going to end up hand stitching this. And then I think we turn this inside out now. Somehow. Okay, so then I think with the one that's not folded over, so that's this edge, I'm attaching this to the collar of the shirt. My collar is not long enough for the neckline, which, like, I'm so confused. The collar stand, like, that I'm working with right now, the shape of it is so much different than the video tutorial. And I feel like usually pattern shapes are pretty similar now. Okay, I think what I need to do is cut out a different collar stand, maybe a little longer, because this is not fitting my neckline and I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna reread the instructions. Like, I'm feeling burnt out. And this collar, like, not working is making me want to quit right now. I really just need to add like a ½ inch on both sides because, like, there's no way that this fits. Okay, so I have made the executive decision to stop sewing for the night. I think that would be best for my mental health. But I do want to say for the record that my collar stands were cut correctly. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if it's like user error, and I'm like going to study the directions tonight and like rewatch the videos and honestly watch other videos on how people make collars. But like, yeah, this pattern just like, it's just so off from like what I've been seeing. Feeling a little defeated, but I'm proud of myself for getting this far. All right, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, good morning. It's the next day, and you can tell it's the next day because I look flippin' tired. It's 9 a.m. and I'm going to try to sew this before my class at 1. Like, I watched so many videos last night, and I think that the best thing for me to do is to take this and to kind of just like extend like that. And I'm honestly gonna make the curve a little deeper too. Like, this is pretty gradual. I feel like most of the collar patterns that I've seen like literally go like that. There's like barely a curve, so I'm just gonna do that. Probably add like at least an inch on both sides, and then I can always take some off later. There's like no way that this collar piece is gonna work, like absolutely no way. Alright, so I finished cutting this out, and the next thing that I'm supposed to do is take one of the pieces, and on the longer end, I'm supposed to fold the edge up, and I think it said honestly like 3/8, which is a centimeter, so it's, yeah, that sounds about right, so that's a seam allowance. But just on one of them it said. So this is where I got stuck last time. So you're basically supposed to sandwich these in like that. But one of them should be folded up and the other one is just raw. So I'm going to clip this. So now I have this. Wait, did I put it the right way? Yeah, I definitely didn't. This is supposed to, good thing I figured that out now. I'm supposed to do it like this with the folded edge on the outside. So let's redo this. Okay, so now I'm just gonna sew all along this way. Okay, basically now that you've sewn it, I have to like clip the curves, but you basically flip it inside out, which is what I was trying to do yesterday, but there was just like no space. Like this. And then the one that doesn't have the folded up edge gets connected to the shirt. So I'm gonna take my shirt and see if it actually fits on the collar. Okay, it's looking like I'm gonna need a little more space, surprisingly. I added an inch, so I thought that would have been enough. I think I just need to take a little bit off of the sides, or like a little less off the sides, and be really close to that seam allowance, and hopefully that'll be enough. Okay, I extended it as much as I could, like it's super close. Okay, now that I'm checking it, it seems like there's too much. Okay, no, I actually think that that is perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and press this now. Great, I'm going to pin to the neckline. This once again does not have any notches, so I'm just hoping that it's symmetrical enough. But like the middle seams, just need to line up with the middle seams. I think we should be good. Okay, I just realized I wasn't recording the whole time. Sucks, but basically I pressed the collar and then this is the folded edge now, and so I need to either hand stitch this or just top stitch it, and I think I'm gonna top stitch it. But when I look in the back, it kind of looks like it's a little lower than stitching in the ditch. So I'm gonna try to stitch in the ditch and see if that's enough. If it's not, I'm just gonna have to top stitch it and it's gonna be visible, but we'll see. Okay. Stitching in the ditch is like stitching right here in the seam allowance. It's a little risky to do right now because some of the seam allowance might not be like folded up enough for it to be caught if I stitch in the ditch, but you can only tell if you try, so. Okay, I had to do a little try on with the collar, and look at how cute. I think that really made the shirt. This part that folds down looks better than like it being cuffed up, which I'll still put buttons there, but I probably won't wear it like that. But it kind of just like had the natural like curvature down once the collar was attached, so I think it looks really nice. So the next thing I'm gonna do is just go ahead and attach the buttons, which should be fairly quick, and then I just need to hem it. But yeah, I'm so excited. We're in the final home stretch, hopefully. Okay, buttons are super fun. So this is my button foot, and it basically just take one of the buttons that I'm planning on using and you use it to size your buttonhole. But in the past, I've noticed that if I just go like up one notch, that's like the perfect size. I always start at the bottom because I feel like once you get to the top where it kind of matters, you'll get the hang of it more. But yeah, just lining up my fabric. and then bring down the buttonhole lever like that. Here's a buttonhole. Isn't that so cool? And then you basically just take a seam ripper and just rip all across. But then with this pen, I can just iron it and it goes away. So it's really neat. All right, I think I'm gonna finish the hem and the buttonholes on my own without filming. Pretty self-explanatory. I feel like for the buttons, I am doing it with my machine though, because I'm just used to it. And then for the hem, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and serge it and then fold it over once, because with the button placket, it's like pretty thick for me to do like a double folded hem, and my sewing machine like is not dealing well with thick today. Yeah, this buttonhole, I'm like embarrassed to show you guys this, but like this buttonhole right here, I don't know if you can see, like it's just so messed up, and that's because I kept having to pull the fabric because it was getting stuck. And there's like absolutely just like nothing for me to do about it. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish those off camera, and then I'll be back with the finished product. Alright, the shirt is finished. Thank you guys so much for watching this entire process. I had such a fun time filming it. I will say there are a couple things, obviously, as always, that I feel like I could have done better, and I feel like it was at fault of my sewing machine. So thank goodness I'm getting a new one. It just had a lot of hard times pushing through the button plackets and anywhere where there was kind of just like more than 2 or 3 layers of fabric. But other than that, I feel like it's not as bad to the point where I wouldn't wear this out. Like I have school later and I'm probably gonna wear this outfit. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I was worried it was gonna be a little too big, but it was actually perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really liked doing this style of video. I feel like I felt more at peace and felt kind of just low-key, so that's really good, and I feel like I'm gonna make more of these in the future. But yeah, thank you guys as always for watching, and hopefully I'll try to post more videos in the future, but I really do appreciate every single one of you. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.